Have you ever wondered what really makes a country a superpower? I mean, is it just about having a giant army or tons of money? Or is there something more to it? Well, we're going to dive into a really fascinating source today that breaks it down into a 5-part formula. Let's get into it.
Yeah, because it turns out it's not as simple as just having a big army or a booming economy. According to the source we're looking at, it's actually this deeply connected system where every piece feeds into the next. The real answer is way more complex, and honestly, way more interesting than you'd probably guess.
So this source lays out this 5-part formula for what it takes. And what we're going to do is count them down from number 5 all the way to number 1, kind of revealing the secret sauce one piece at a time.
All right, let's kick off the countdown. Coming in at number 5, we've got the tech edge. Think about it. This is the power to literally invent the future. We're talking about creating the technologies that define how all of us live, how we work, and how we connect with each other every single day.
And the source puts it in a really great way. It says that Silicon Valley isn't just a place on a map, it's become this global engine of creation. It's the beating heart of a kind of tech dominance that has totally reshaped our world.
I mean, look at these names. These aren't just companies, right? They are entire ecosystems that basically set the rules for the rest of the world. The phone in your pocket, the search engine you just used, that kind of innovation creates incredible economic power. And, as we're going to see, that power is what fuels everything else.
Okay, so that brings us from the world of ideas and tech to something a little more tangible, the realm of physical strength. Let's look at number 4.
And here we have the most traditional, classic measure of power you can think of: unmatched military might. And listen, this isn't just about playing defense. It's the ability to project your strength literally anywhere on the planet, whenever you want.
Just look at this number for a second. Over $800 billion every year. According to our source, that single budget is more than the next 10 countries combined. A number like that, it doesn't just buy you tanks and jets. It buys you unparalleled global reach.
And all that spending, it translates directly into dominance across the board, in the air, on land, and at sea. This is what's called hard power, and it's what lets a superpower protect its economic interests and project its influence all over the world. It kind of creates a shield for all that cultural and tech stuff we were just talking about.
But you know, power isn't all about force and military might. There's another kind of influence, which brings us to number 3.
And that is global culture. This is all about the ability to shape what the rest of the world is watching, what they're listening to, and even what they want to buy. It's about winning people over, not forcing them.
Think about it. From the huge Hollywood movies we all go see to the music that's always topping the charts around the world, that cultural footprint is just massive. It creates this kind of shared global experience that pretty subtly, but also very effectively, exports a country's values and its way of looking at the world.
There's a term for this, actually. Experts call it soft power. It's basically the ability to influence people through attraction, not by twisting their arm. And when the whole world is humming your songs and binge-watching your shows, you've got a really unique and powerful kind of influence, don't you?
Okay, so you've got the military, you've got the tech, you've got the culture, but what pays for all of it? What's the engine behind the scenes? Well, coming in as the runner-up at number 2 is exactly that, the engine that funds it all: economic dominance. This is the pillar that writes the checks for everything else we've just talked about. It's the fuel for the whole machine.
And this economic power, it really comes from 2 different places. On one hand, you've got domestic strength, just having the largest GDP in the world, the biggest economy. But on the other hand, and this is just as important, is the global control that comes from its currency. You know, the US dollar basically dominates world trade. And when your money is the world's main reserve currency, that gives you incredible leverage over the whole global financial system.
All right, so we've got tech, military, culture, and the economy. But what's underneath it all? What's the real foundation for all of this power? It's not a bigger army. It's not even a bigger economy. The number 1 pillar, according to this source, is the knowledge engine. This is the source, the wellspring. It's the elite education and cutting-edge research that everything else, all the other pillars, ultimately flows from. You know, top-tier universities like Harvard and MIT, they act like these giant global magnets for the smartest people in the world. They're not just cranking out the research that fuels the next big thing in Silicon Valley. They're also attracting and training future world leaders, which creates these incredibly powerful personal networks that stretch all over the globe and last for decades.
So there you have it, all 5 pillars right here. But the really cool part is that they don't just stand there by themselves. Look at how they flow into each other. The knowledge from the universities fuels the tech innovation. That innovation drives the economy pays for the military, and the whole package projects this powerful culture out into the world.
And honestly, that's the key takeaway here. Being a superpower isn't about ticking boxes on a checklist. It's a system, a self-reinforcing loop. Knowledge creates tech, tech builds the economy pays for the military, and all of it creates a culture with global reach. Every single pillar makes all the other pillars stronger.
So that leaves us with one last big question to think about. Looking at this whole powerful interconnected system, which pillar do you think is the most important one? Is there one that stands above the rest? Or if you pulled just one of them out, would the whole thing just fall apart? It's definitely something to chew on.